All right. Hey, YouTube, I'm Lucky, and we have some absolutely huge news to cover today. In this week's TWAB, Bungie just dropped a nuke on us. We got the issues of Transmog. 801 is going to take over Banshee's mods, and Celerity and Bottomless Grief are coming back. They're going to get buffed big time. All right, on top of that, Bungie is going to start selling 6 weapons. Shit's about to get crazy. Let's cover this really quick here. This week at Bungie, we have modifications on our mind, and then they jump right in. In next season, which is season 14, 801 is returning back to the tower, and she's essentially going to assume the role kind of like what Banshee's doing, but she's going to be way more accessible to these mods to everyone. So it's going to be a much better system with 801 being back, and it's definitely exciting. It's definitely exciting to see that Banshee is going to be selling a rotation of 6 weapons. So that means, for example, the True Prophecy hand cannon will be available for you to just buy from Banshee. He'll have it available. It'll be one of the 6 weapons. They'll be on rotation. So every day there's going to be different weapons from Banshee. It's definitely going to be a very exciting time for season 14. I can't wait, and everyone should be able to get a god roll, or at least a decent roll of the True Prophecy, because it's going to be so easily available, which has been an issue right now for a lot of people. They've been saying, 120s are not very easily available to get. A lot of RNG is involved in getting them, so I'm definitely excited to see that and see what happens there. Now, next up, they talk about Last One Standing is this topic. And they talk about the perks Celerity and Bottomless Grief. Now, right now in the game, Celerity is a perk that you get from Trials weapons, and Bottomless Grief is like a PvE perk. And they don't really work that well in the game because you don't really want to be the last person alive. So it tends to be that the worst roll you can get for any gun has either Celerity or Bottomless Grief on it. Now, they talked about, and throughout this article, about how they've tried to offer a few different ways to resolve this. Of course, the community has said many times before that it just should be an intrinsic perk, kind of like in Destiny 1 Trials. You had the intrinsic adept weapons had Snapshot on them, and they just had it built into the weapon. They're thinking that maybe we should do that. That's what the community has said. Bungie even directly addressed that, which is kind of cool. It's kind of interesting to see the transparency from Bungie saying, yes, we've heard your feedback, and we unfortunately can't do that because it creates a bunch of bugs in the game, so they can't do that. Instead, what they're going to do is do a big buff for these perks right here. And right here it says, Bottomless Grief grants a permanently active plus 30 to magazine. So that is the equivalent to extended mag without the negative to reload. So that's a big boost to your magazine there. That's going to be great. Bottomless Grief is going to be awesome for that reason, and has a few other things to go along with that. And Celerity grants a permanently active plus 20 to both reload and handling. So that is going to feel amazing on 120 RPM hand cannons. And with this being Celerity, this will be really good actually on if you get a quick draw Celerity Igneous Hammer from Trials. That'll actually be a pretty decent roll now, instead of being just kind of a trash roll or an average roll. So definitely exciting to see those perks get buffed because they're so poorly performing, and definitely a part of the opposite of the god roll, the trash roll of any weapon. So very exciting stuff there. They go on to continue to talk about they're going to do one of those streams for the Presage coming up soon, and then beyond that we have just a bunch of bugs and issues that they're working on fixing. Obviously there's always bugs and weekly known issues going on in the game, but that's pretty much covers it for this week's TWAB. Let me know your thoughts. You excited for Transmog to come into the game starting next season? 801 and all of her inventory. Banshee is getting a big upgrade. Celerity and Bottomless Grief buff. So if you do have a Celerity or Bottomless Grief weapon, or if you do get one that a Palindrome, for example, this week, make sure not to delete it because it might be decently good come next season. So that's a wrap for this video, though. Make sure to subscribe with notifications on if you want to stay up to date on all the news in Destiny 2. And I'll see you in the next one. Later.